Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of the Work It series. Today, we're going to be talking about Close It, which is negotiating and evaluating job offers. I want to welcome everyone out to the presentation today, both those of you who are here in person and as well those of you who might be joining us via the recording. Welcome. Hopefully, we get talking about stuff that you need and want. Before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about who we are, who I am. My name is John Folger. I am one of the senior career advisors here at the Dornsife Career Pathways office. We are like the Central Career Center, where we do all of the career advising, but we work specifically with Dornsife majors and minors. So we do all of the things when it comes to careers, so advising appointments one-on-one. I have a podcast. We have a ton of other events and programs that go on, a mentorship program, so much information and resources for you. And all of it can be found at our website at Dornsife Career Pathways. You can also follow us on Instagram. We are setting up a YouTube profile as well. So this is our Instagram code. Take a second to scan that QR code. If you can't scan the QR code, find us at USC Dornsife CP. I really recommend that you follow us on Instagram and start following us on the YouTube once we get that set up so that you can know all of the things that are happening, all of the events that are coming up. It's a really, really great one-stop place to get all of the events and information that is happening through our office. I know you are kind of bombarded daily with all of the places that you're following. I understand that, but I do recommend that you do add us in kind of to your rotation, and hopefully we can be helpful to you. So today we're going to be starting from the beginning. What is salary, all-in compensation, and budgeting it all? So kind of before you even get a job offer, what all these terms mean, how they can impact your life, and how you and why you should care. So the difference between salary and wages. So salary is fixed payment for performing work during a specific period of time, i.e. monthly, biweekly payments. It's the same. Your salary, if you're getting a salary, it is the same amount each time, minus taxes. That might add some changes in, but it's a set amount. Wages is hourly payment. So if you're hourly versus salary, hourly, you get paid a certain rate times the amount of hours you work. Typically around 20-ish hours is considered part-time. Above that, you're getting into the full-time range. Full-time is typically around 35 to 40 hours. For full-time work in the United States, you are entitled to additional benefits. Part-time employees are typically not, although in certain situations they are. So just be aware of what these terms mean and what they mean for you. Do your research ahead of time is something really, really big that I recommend for you. In kind of letting yourself know what you should be looking for during an interview or as you're filling out kind of those applications. In the state of California, if you're applying to a job in California, as well as a few other states in the United States, they have to post the salary ranges of what they're offering. So that is going to be a really good guideline of what you should put if you are asked to say, what is the expected salary? In the state of California, you can know what they're expecting to pay you. So saying something below that or above that range is not going to be very likely. So what should you put, basically? Let's talk about that. When you are kind of putting together a just specific kind of salary range, on this particular example of the senior biologist, the salary range is between $107,000 and $161,000. So you want to put somewhere in between there, based on, number one, what you're actually looking for, and number two, what is reasonable based on kind of what they're expecting. So for this position, they're expecting a BS in natural resources or related degrees, minimum 10 years of proven experience across a range of natural resources, work in California, example, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you hit the minimums of these, it would be well within your rights to be expecting around the 107 to probably about 110, 115 range. If you have a master's degree for this particular position, plus the minimum 10 years, plus all of the other things, that's where we can get a little bit higher, the 140, 150 range. I always say kind of shoot a little bit higher because you can negotiate down. But that's how you use these kind of salary ranges, what you can expect. When we talk about compensation, there are two different terms with compensation. There is base compensation, that is just the strictly money that you are going to be paid each paycheck. Then there is all-in compensation. All-in compensation includes all of the kind of bonuses that you might be getting. So that might be insurance, wellness and food, 401k, signing bonuses, performance bonuses, health and medical, all of the non kind of monetary perks as well. That is your all-in compensation, and we can calculate that as well. So the monetary compensations that you can expect: base salary, one-time bonuses, performance bonuses, retirement plans, commissions, wellness stipends. That is money going to you, either directly to you in the form of a base salary or bonuses, or kind of paid on your behalf, which can sometimes go into the retirement plans for the future. The estimated values for monetary perks, this is PTO. Typically, what is generally standard is about 2 weeks of vacation time. If it's below that, it's not really a great offer. If it's above that, that is bonus for vacation. Same thing with sick. You can expect about 2 weeks of vacation, about 2 weeks of sick time, and then there should be paid holidays as well. Insurance, medical, vision, dental, tuition assistance, childcare assistance, food, employee assistance programs. There are a ton of additional bonuses that you can get when you're employed. And all of that goes into the total compensation, or the all-in thing that you need to be watching out for, and what will determine if you want to work for that company. So to kind of calculate what is the amount that is being given to you, so you have the base salary in terms of compensation, one-time relocation bonus, performance bonus annually, equity stock options, 401k plus 5% match. Then how you can determine the kind of price point on your non-monetary perks. PTO, 12 vacation, 16 sick. We can look at the base pay, which is for, if you were looking at this, if you're expecting to make $75,000 a year, that is divided by 52 weeks at a 40-hour work week, you are making $36.06 per hour. And a 8-hour workday is $288.46 per day. So then we just plug that in for the total PTO. That is how much your PTO is worth a year. So that is a number. Insurance and employer covers half of medical and dental. We can take a look at, okay, what does that all cost per year? Tuition assistance per year, wellness stipends per year, total that up. So you are looking at a total compensation of about $168,000, $169,000, based on all of these added up. So that is something you have to consider when you're kind of negotiating your rates. Not only what is the base pay you're going to be expecting, what is the take home, what are the bonuses, what are the non-monetary perks and their estimated values, because that's everything you have to calculate in all together. And what does that mean for you? Does it match what you want? Does it not match what you want? And in the not matching what you want, that's where negotiation comes in. So again, this is just kind of another visual on visualizing the all-in compensation with the base salary, everything else that's coming in, so a total of about $170,000. So really quick, a budgeting worksheet. You can find this worksheet on the Join Scythe Career Pathways website under the Work It series and the WorkIt guides, I want to show you a budget sheet. So you can see based on what we're looking for, how much is the pay, what are the monthly costs of different things, and how much you are going to be left over at the end. Doing research, we have all of this on the WorkIt guide that I put in the chat, and you can also find it at the Dornsife Career Pathways website. We get back into slideshow mode. Negotiation, how, what, why, and when. So what can you negotiate? The big question of what can you negotiate? You can negotiate a base salary based on industry research and skill set inventory. Is that salary what you're looking for? Can you negotiate up? Titles and responsibilities. Can you improve your title? Titles will help you on further down the road. The higher title you have, the more likely you are to get a higher position. Later on, higher positions typically higher paying. Annual performance increase. You can negotiate if they're expecting you to give you a 2% annual performance increase. You can negotiate, talk to them and say, would it be possible to go from 2% to 4% or 5% or 2.5%? Can we increase that annual performance increase at all? Is there any wiggle room? Talk about it. Bonuses, stock options, PTO days, location flexibility. You can negotiate all of this. Now, if you are negotiating, that does not mean you will get it. You are just kind of offering, this is what I am looking for, this is what I'm needing, where can we meet kind of in a middle ground? Sometimes there is no middle ground. Sometimes the hiring manager is just kind of their hands are tied. That's what they can do and that's what they need to do. That then comes down to you, your preferences, based on what they kind of respond back with. Can you accept that? Are you going to be able to live comfortably off of that? Is it something you're willing to do? If the answer is no, and they have no room to negotiate or budge, you may need to find additional employment or other employment. That's what I mean. If they are willing to negotiate a little bit up or down, again, it comes down to what are you actually looking for? What are you willing to accept or not accept? So the payoff of negotiation, if they just say, for example, they say $100,000, we're going to pay you $100,000. And at 5% each year, you're going to get an additional yearly bonus. Let's say you talk and say, hey, I'm really looking for, can we do 110? And they're like, no, we can't do 110. We can do 105. How is 105? You, for whatever reason, you are saying, yes, the extra $5,000 a year is worth it to me. Let's do the 105. Thank you for being willing to negotiate up from the 100 to the 105. In year 2, you're going to go from 105 to 110, where you would have started at 105 in the second year, 110 in the third year. So over 3 years, just that extra $5,000 a year is $15,762 difference. So it is always in your best interest to negotiate. It is always in your best interest to negotiate in good faith and politely. You don't want to be demanding because that could sour the relationship and perhaps they say, well, let's go with somebody else. But being very professional, being very understanding of, hey, would it be possible for us to figure something out? Can we increase in any different way? Ideally, we want to increase that base salary, but we can negotiate any one of those different things. Some tips for negotiating. We have Onet, we have LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Salary Expert. These will give you what is the standard in your area. Kind of what we talked about with the position we looked at a little bit ago. You can know what is kind of the average in your area. So entry level, 85, that's what you can kind of expect right off the bat. Average, this is what most people are making. Senior, this is the high end. So if you are entering a position and you do your research on Salary Expert or Glassdoor, and you are brand new out of college, you have your bachelor's degree, a few things of experience, asking for $122,000 right off the bat, probably not a very good negotiation tactic, because that's not what is expected in your industry. However, if you are going into bioinformatics scientists and they offer you $72,000, you know that's well below what is the average or what it can be expected for that position in an entry level. So then you can come back and kind of negotiate. Based on my research, the average entry is about 85, 86. So I was hoping to start somewhere around that range and start the conversation there. This should let you know after a few years of experience where you should be at, and then senior where you should be at later on. So use these websites. Let me go back one. ONET, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Salary Expert to kind of inform what you should be expecting. So make your interest clear that the employer can get you. Be very open and say, I'm really excited about joining this organization. If you are, I really want to become part of this team, but these are the things that I need in order for me to be able to do this. I'll let them know this is the research that I've done. This is why I'm giving you this number based on the number of experience, the number of years of experience I have, based on my title, based on my degree, if you have an advanced degree of a master's or a PhD, based on other factors on your research, knowing what you're worth, you can let them know this is the data. Just saying I want more money is not as effective of saying I think I deserve a higher base salary based on X, Y, and Z. Is there any way we can work together to get to a common ground where we're all happy? I want to join this organization. I know you have a hole in your organization, and I just want to make sure that everyone is happy at the end of the day. That's kind of how you want to approach this negotiation. To make it clear that you're interested in the position and joining the organization. You're very excited about it. You are willing to work and have flexibility, but also come in with data. Data will always help you. So, negotiation templates. So for your base salary, thank you for selecting me to join the blank team as the blank title. I'm excited at the prospect of joining your department. Starting out with, I'm excited to be here. After considering your offer of X amount of dollars for the base salary, I want to counter with this higher salary for the following reasons. Based on industry research, the average in the city is this. I have this additional certifications and education. I took these additional classes to prepare myself, additional qualifications that would be beneficial. I know I have X, Y, and Z qualifications that we didn't necessarily bring up in the interview, and this is the length of experience. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Just come out and say it. This is what I'm looking for. You want to always aim a little bit higher so that you can negotiate down into a true area where you're happy with, but you want to keep it reasonable. That's why we do the research on Indeed, Glassdoor, know what the averages are so that you are staying within reasonable bounds, but it's okay to ask, hey, can we bump that up a little bit? And in fact, we showed the math, it's in your best interest to even $5,000, $6,000 extra will compound over time. So always try to negotiate up, but be within a reasonable range. And you know the reasonable ranges based on the research you've done on the national averages, the averages in your location of those websites. Negotiation for non-monetary compensation. So maybe they come back and say, no, HR or whoever, or we're deciding that this is a hard line on base salary. We can only do this. You can kind of counter back and say, I understand that there is no flexibility with the salary for this position at the moment, so I'd like to negotiate alternative compensation options. I believe this company is a great fit for me, and I see myself working here for a long time and being a team member. I wouldn't want compensation to get in the way of my decision or for me to help you. After reviewing my offer letter, I want to negotiate an increase in whatever it is, increased PTO, increased yearly bonus, a guarantee for yearly pay bumps from 2%. Say, hey, can we get in writing that I'm going to get a 3.5% so I can catch up to the market average faster? Comparing the job description and my user experience, I believe title serves as a better fit. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. So you can ask for alternative things. Hey, maybe we can't increase the base salary, but maybe we can increase this or that. Where is there wiggle room? Because I guarantee that there is. Make sure that you're getting something so that the total compensation package gets you to where you want to be. Asking for more time to think about the offer. This is an important decision for me. I would like to have 2 or 3 more days to consider the offer. You can ask for more time. They are going to potentially try to pressure you of, no, we need to know in the next 24 hours. Say, I really need to talk to my spouse. I really need to figure out the math. I need 2 days. If they're not willing to give you the 2 or 3 days, you don't want to go over probably 4 days a work week. A full 5 business days is a full work week. You don't want to go over that for sure, but 2 or 3 days, if they're not willing to do that, that might not be a great place for you to work. Thank you for extending the offer for a position. How long do I have to get back to you regarding my decision? Ask them, can I have a little bit of time to think this over and run the numbers? Always ask if you need it for more time. I personally always ask for 24 hours. Even if they come and say, we want to pay you more than you were expecting, this has happened to me once, only one time. They wanted to pay me more than what I was expecting to get paid. They had excellent benefits. And I still said, hey, can I have 24 hours to mull this over, look over things, make sure I am happy. You never have to make a decision on the spot. If they're asking you to make a decision on the spot, that's a red flag for me because they're asking to rush you into something. And that always feels a little bit weird to me. Accepting or rejecting officers. You want to be very blunt. You want to come out with it, put it in writing, send it in an email. Always get it in writing. That is the legal advice I will give you. If it's not in writing, there's no guarantee that it happened. So always get it in writing. I can accept the offer for title with company name and look forward to joining the team. I'm confirming agreeing to the salary we discussed of whatever it is and the start date of blah, 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 blah. If you're declining, I respectfully decline. Thank you for the opportunity to interview. I wish you the best with the hiring process. Always follow up, always be gracious. You want to stay professional because you never know who they're connected to. You don't want to burn that bridge. But even in declining, you can just say, respectfully, I decline. I'm going a different direction. Thank you so much for your time and attention. So how kind of negotiations work is they're going to give you an offer. The employer is going to give you an offer. You are going to accept or counteroffer. Typically, always in the beginning, I recommend some sort of counteroffer of, I hear the salary. Can we go $10,000 more? A little bit more. They will either accept or give you a counteroffer. And that's just kind of how it goes. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You don't want it to go back and forth more than 5 times. That's going to be a situation where either you or they are going to get a little bit tired of that process and communication is going to break down. But it is always in your best interest to just kind of, okay, let's bump up here, let's bump up here, and see what we can do. Often there's wiggle room that they are expecting negotiation. So feel free to negotiate, feel free to bump either the base pay up or one of those non-monetary compensations or one of the other monetary compensations. When can you negotiate? So you're in a position, when can you then renegotiate? You can negotiate quarterly, if that is how your reviews are going, mid-year or yearly. When you negotiate, when you are going to your boss and saying, this is why I believe I deserve a higher base pay rate or a title promotion, provide evidence. Numbers speak. Just saying, I am really good at my job, that doesn't speak as loud as I managed X amount of contracts, I brought in this amount of business, I saw this percentage increase in my marketing sales, whatever it is, have data. Data backs you up. So when you go to HR or your boss, you can say, this is why I deserve more. These are the averages that I've researched on Glassdoor, that's salary.net, ONET, whatever you're doing your research on. These are the numbers that I know. These are the numbers that I'm bringing you. The annual raise range is between 3% and 5%. So know those numbers. Bonuses vary by industry. $5,000, $10,000, maybe more. Know what is the average in your industry, what you can expect. But mid-year, yearly, you can go in and say, hey, I think I deserve a little bit of a pay bump. This is why. Or let's talk about those non-monetary. Let's talk about maybe upping the amount of PTO I get a year so I can have more work-life balance, whatever it might be. But you can know based on research and then going in and talking about it. So when you should request a raise or promotion, we were just talking about this during performance review, around your work anniversary, when you receive recognition or complete a big project. Say, this is why I'm valuable. I just did this really big thing. I just did this thing you're praising me for. Let's see if we can't talk that into a little bit of, hey, maybe a pay increase, non-monetary increase, title increase, whatever it might be. Reason to request. You have taken on more than your original job responsibilities. That means you deserve more, whether it's a title, money, non-monetary, more PTO, more input into your retirement, whatever it might be. You showed initiative and you can prove that. You developed new or refined your skills, certificates, degrees, programs, overperforming, reliable, outstanding work in which it is quantifiable on those yearly performance reviews. You mentor and train other employees. You're taking on leadership opportunities. You can show data for your contribution to the company's success. Again, anytime you can quantify it, put numbers to it, that is going to strengthen your request, and it's going to be more likely that you get the bump that you're looking for. When you are approaching your request, research title or percentage of salary increase. Know the numbers. Again, there are a variety of online resources. Indeed, Glassdoor, that's salary.net, a plethora of resources. There are resources on our Dornsife Career Pathways website under the Work It page. Going to the Close It Work It guide, it will have a lot of this information. Try to schedule the conversation in person, or give them an email or a Zoom warning. Have the data. Be confident and practice. Be confident. You deserve what you're asking for. If it's way, way more than they can do, that's where your research comes in. You won't ask out of line if you know what the averages are and what you can expect. Practice with somebody that you trust. Talk to them in a way that is professional. Be very calm. Be very concrete of, hey, I like working here. I like you as a manager. This is what I'm looking for. These are my future goals. Let's kind of talk about what we can do so that I can be the best employee that I can be. If you are struggling for rent or for food, you're not going to be the best employee that you can be. It is in their best interest to make you happy as well. If year after year they're not able to do that, okay, maybe that's a time to reevaluate working somewhere else. But you always want to be professional, courteous, and kind, even if the person on the other side of the table is not. And research. I'm going to go back to number 3 here. Have the data. Data speaks loud. Know your stuff. Know your research. Know what you've brought on. Know the projects that you've done. The value that you bring in your position. What the averages are. What you can expect. And stay within those realistic numbers based on your research. So that is the end of our presentation, negotiating and evaluating job offers. I want to thank everyone who joined me live. If you're joining us via recording, thank you so much. I recommend you set up an appointment with our office if you have any additional questions. Thank you so much for joining us. I will be stopping the recording